know I've mentioned it before, but I think it deserves another shot here. I want to address what I feel happens a lot in the comments. People who often are the most obsessed with balding. And I mean, when I say most obsessed, these are the people who say that no one marries a guy who's balding, that they don't even want to die a bald man. They want to always have hair. I mean, there are people who take it to extremes on this channel, right? And for me, when I see comments like that, here's what I think. I think of the irony, I think the paradox, I love those words, Jonah, that someone can have a low self-esteem, a low self-image of who they are, and ultimately not really know who they are to begin with. Because in my opinion, if you have a low self-esteem, it means you ultimately don't know who you really are. You don't really have an identity beyond something as superficial as your looks to begin with. You don't have skills, you don't have humor, you don't have confidence, you don't have the things that actually make people attracted to you to begin with, so you bank on something as petty as your looks, and therefore everything falls apart when your looks start falling apart to the least little degree. But there's this concept that someone who has a low self-esteem is self-centered, is basically a narcissist. That you could be obsessed with yourself yet feel horrible about yourself. Doesn't that sort of seem like an oxymoron? When we think of someone who's conceited, we would think of someone who's naturally very already attractive, don't we? Like when we think of someone, it goes back to the concept of why if you're a comedian, if you're a stand-up comedian, you can't be good looking. You can't. I've talked about that before. You can't be funny if you're a good looking man. You have to at best be average to be a funny man, because somehow the good lookingness overrides the funniness. Seriously, name one stand-up comic who's particularly good looking that's a man. Name one. All the stand-up comedians I know that are men are average at best. So it goes back to that concept. When we think of someone who is especially good looking, we think that they're more likely to be conceited, right? We don't think of someone who has a low self-esteem and has a Chicken Little concept. Oh no, my receding hairline, the sky is falling. We don't think, well, they're self-centered, they're narcissistic. But that's what I say. I say we need to acknowledge that this paradox exists. That a lot of people, when they start dealing with a hair loss, whether receding hairline, diffuse thinning, whatever it is, they become so focused on themselves that that's weird. How can you, in essence, be so focused on yourself and feel so horrible about yourself? That only accentuates the problem, doesn't it? So imagine if there was more of a balance and you could say, look, okay, my youth is fading a little bit here, but I'm not going to keep focusing on that. That's the thing that's making me feel horrible right now. What else can I focus on? What can I bank on that's going to actually make me more attractive? And obviously, when you're young, especially working out, right? And embracing the baldness, or trying to stop it with all of your willpower that you have. I made a video about that, saying, you know, once you start realizing that you may be balding, I say go all the way, either way. Either shave it all off, or in all your desperation, do everything you can to stop it. Pay whatever amount of money it is, whatever kind of drug, go to the best hair transplant guy in the world, wherever he is. Go all the way with this thing, you know? But ultimately, in the end, the irony is, the ultimate irony, and I just now thought about this, is if balding makes you so ugly, then why is it that such confident men shave their heads to begin with? If balding is ugly, then why do confident men have shaved heads?